so freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%.
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me. What do you mean? And immediately she made me feel this big. That moment completely changed my career.
It seems like the Unbreak My Heart stars back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Word on the street is that Birdman is finally spilling the tea on what really went down between him and Toni Braxton. According to him, Toni drained his finances, disappeared when the money slowed down, and now rumors are swirling that she's potentially heading toward financial trouble again. This isn't Toni's first run-in with money drama. With 2 bankruptcies in her past and a well-documented love for luxury living, the pieces of the puzzle are starting to fit together. Now, with Birdman speaking out, the story is painting a far different picture of their relationship. Some close to Toni claim Birdman is bitter and twisting the narrative, but others are asking the hard question: did Toni really have ulterior motives all along? Let's break down the allegations, the money trail, and the chaotic aftermath, because this might just go down as one of the most jaw-dropping relationship exposés in R&B history. Sources claim that Toni allegedly tried to walk away from her brief marriage to Birdman with a jaw-dropping $160 million payout, despite being married for less than a month. Reports suggest that the union barely lasted, with Toni reportedly separating just 2 days after the wedding and filing for divorce less than a month later, citing an irretrievably broken marriage. If these numbers are true, we're not talking about a simple settlement. This was audacious, full-blown, and headline-grabbing. Considering Toni's history with bankruptcy, lavish spending, and financial ups and downs, many fans are wondering if this relationship was more about strategy than love. The drama didn't stop there. Birdman claims Toni circled back in 2023, dropping hints and making it clear she wanted to rekindle things. He initially resisted, having already moved on, but her persistence allegedly won him over. After dating for a year, they tied the knot on August 8, 2024, only for Toni to file for divorce 2 days later, marking their official separation on August 10th. Fans are still reeling over the $160 million demand, questioning how someone could leave a marriage so quickly and feel entitled to such an astronomical sum. Even 50 Cent chimed in on social media, joking about the audacity of the claim, adding more fuel to the fire. Birdman, however, seems serious. He believes Toni's motives were never about love, but money. With his net worth estimated around $160 million, Toni allegedly sought every last cent. Insiders claim that Toni didn't stop at legal maneuvers. She allegedly tried selling some of Birdman's jewelry when direct access to his money didn't work. While messy, this shouldn't shock anyone familiar with Toni's financial past. Despite her massive success in the 90s, she filed for bankruptcy twice, once in 1998 and again in 1999, making headlines nationwide. Her appearance on Oprah, intended to clear the air, reportedly backfired, leaving her defending her spending choices while fans questioned how a superstar could lose it all twice. Toni Braxton did manage to bounce back after her first bankruptcy, and for a while, it looked like she was finally regaining her financial footing. But that stability didn't last long. By 2010, she found herself filing for bankruptcy again, and this time, the situation was even more serious. Reports suggest her debts ranged anywhere from $10 million to $50 million, a staggering amount that reflected more than just a financial hiccup. It was a full-blown crisis. A combination of factors contributed to her downfall. Toni cited the cancellation of her Las Vegas residency, which came after she was diagnosed with a serious heart condition, as a major trigger. On top of that, insurance disputes, coverage issues, and a backlog of unpaid taxes only made matters worse. Since then, Toni has quietly struggled to stay financially afloat. The numbers don't lie. Her music career isn't generating the income it once did. Her last album sold fewer than 7,000 copies and peaked at number 163 on the Billboard 200, while the previous release sold around 16,000 copies. For a former chart-topping superstar, these figures are alarming. With record sales declining, Toni shifted her focus to the Braxton Family Values reality show. But even that spotlight has dimmed over time, and without major hits or consistent media exposure, financial pressures continued to mount. Fans began questioning whether her recent reunion with Birdman was truly about love or survival. Whispers had already been circulating that Toni was close to filing for bankruptcy again when, out of nowhere, she resurfaced with Birdman after a breakup of over 4 years. The timing raised eyebrows immediately. Many started to speculate that her return wasn't about rekindling romance, but about getting a piece of Birdman's fortune. After all, in 2023, Toni had previously insisted their relationship was over for good, even declaring that there was no chance of getting back together. Fans were suspicious from the start. When Toni suddenly reversed course and started cozying up to Birdman, it seemed off. And now, with Birdman publicly airing the drama, the narrative appears to support those suspicions. Some believe this was more of a strategic move than a romantic one. Even before this latest controversy, there were signs of tension between the two. Toni's 2022 appearance on the Tamron Hall show was telling. While discussing her lupus diagnosis, she seemed vulnerable until Birdman's name came up. Suddenly, her demeanor changed. She became stiff, avoided eye contact, and the energy in the room shifted noticeably. Their on and off saga dates back to 2016, and even during periods when they were together, the relationship often didn't make sense to the public. In 2018, Birdman proposed with a $5 million yellow diamond ring, a lavish gesture that made headlines. But after the engagement, the relationship seemed frozen. No wedding date, no updates, just rumors and an ounce of uncertainty. Delays continued, with Toni blaming timing, but fans remained skeptical. Then came the biggest red flag. Toni supposedly lost that $5 million engagement ring during a flight. While the bag was returned, the ring vanished. Many questioned how someone could misplace such an expensive item. Rumors suggest the ring wasn't lost at all. Instead, Toni allegedly sold it to cover debts. Given her past financial struggles, it wouldn't have been shocking. Initially, Birdman accepted her story and played it off in interviews. But once he discovered the truth, that the ring had been sold without his knowledge, the trust between them collapsed. That $5 million diamond, once a symbol of commitment, was gone, and with it, the foundation of their relationship. Now, Toni is reportedly trying to reclaim that engagement ring, but the saga has already left fans questioning her motives and the entire history of her relationship with Birdman. They may have tried to mend things, but by then, the damage was already done. The engagement was called off, and before long, the relationship completely unraveled. Fast forward to today, and Toni seems to be back in the same money-driven pattern, but this time, Birdman isn't buying it. From the outside, it looks like he's finally recognized the cycle and isn't letting history repeat itself. When you connect all the dots, from the missing $5 million engagement ring to her back-to-back bankruptcies, and that jaw-dropping $160 million divorce request after just 2 days of marriage, it starts to look incredibly suspicious. Birdman may have been blinded by love initially, but now he's speaking his truth, and he's done staying quiet. If these latest reports are accurate, Toni didn't just make a misstep with Birdman. Some say she might have been chasing the money from the very beginning. Now that the story is coming to light, the big question remains, is Birdman acting out of bitterness, or is he finally exposing the side of Toni that's been hidden in plain sight all along? One thing is clear, this saga isn't anywhere near over. And for fans watching from the sidelines, it's going to be a wild ride. Toni Braxton, the Unbreak My Heart superstar, is back in the spotlight, but not for her music. This time, it's drama, money, and allegations that are making the internet lose its mind. Word on the street is that Birdman has finally decided to speak out about his tumultuous relationship with Toni Braxton, and let me tell you, the claims are explosive. According to him, Toni drained his pockets, disappeared when the money slowed, and is allegedly back on the verge of financial trouble. But before we jump to conclusions, let's unpack this entire saga, Every twist, every allegation, and every shocking detail that has fans talking. Most people know Toni Braxton as a music legend, one of the biggest stars of the 90s. Her voice, her style, and her chart-topping hits earned her millions. But money doesn't always last, and Toni's financial history is proof of that. She filed for bankruptcy not once, but twice. The first came in 1998, when fans were shocked to learn that someone who had sold millions of records could suddenly be in financial crisis. For a while, it seemed she had bounced back. But then came 2010, and a second bankruptcy filing painted an even darker picture. Her debts reportedly ranged from $10 million to $50 million, fueled by canceled shows, health issues, insurance disputes, and a mounting pile of unpaid taxes. Toni's heart condition, which led to the cancellation of her Las Vegas residency, certainly didn't help. But her financial mismanagement over the years created a storm that was impossible to ignore. Record sales were down, and her music was no longer the cash cow it had once been. Her last album barely sold 7,000 copies, peaking at number 163 on the Billboard 200, while the one before that sold around 16,000 copies. For someone who once dominated the charts, these numbers were alarming. With music no longer providing the financial stability she needed, Toni turned to reality TV. Braxton family values gave her a steady paycheck and kept her in the public eye. But even that spotlight began to fade over time. As media attention waned and the charts stopped topping, fans started to wonder, was Toni's reunion with Birdman really about love, or was it survival? Rumors had been circulating for a while that Toni was close to filing for bankruptcy again. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, she reappeared with Birdman after a breakup that lasted over 4 years. The timing was suspicious, to say the least. Fans and insiders alike began questioning her motives. Was she back for Birdman the Man, or Birdman's fortune? Toni had previously insisted there was no chance of getting back together with Birdman. She had made it clear, the past was behind her. So when she started cozying up to him again in 2023, the public was understandably skeptical. The on and off relationship between Toni and Birdman had been going on since 2016, and even during their on periods, things often didn't make sense. Remember 2018, when Birdman proposed with a $5 million yellow diamond ring? It was a jaw-dropping gesture, flashy, over the top, and perfect for the tabloids. But after that, there was radio silence. No wedding, no follow-ups, just rumors and awkward energy. The wedding kept getting postponed, and Toni cited timing issues, but fans weren't buying it. Then came the most shocking twist. Toni supposedly lost the $5 million ring on a flight. While the bag was returned, the ring vanished. Here's where things get even messier. Rumors are swirling that Toni didn't lose the ring at all. Instead, she allegedly sold it to cover debts, something that, given her history with money, wouldn't be all that surprising. Birdman initially played it cool, believing her story, but once the truth came out, trust evaporated. That $5 million engagement ring, a symbol of commitment, was gone, and with it, any hope of repairing the relationship. If the ring scandal wasn't enough, Toni allegedly attempted to walk away with $160 million after less than a month of marriage. Yes, you heard that right. Reports claim she filed for divorce just 2 days after the wedding, citing irreconcilable differences. Considering her history with bankruptcies, extravagant spending, and financial struggles, the world began questioning if this was love or a calculated move to secure a fortune. Birdman, who had moved on with his life, reportedly resisted her attempts to rekindle the relationship at first. But persistence won, and they dated for about a year before finally tying the knot on August 8, 2024.